Welcome back to Popes and Pilots. Let's play some more, not Europa Universalis 4. We're playing Victoria 3. We're playing as Algeria. We're going for the Barbary's back. Ha, I got an achievement. In which all we have to do is be Algeria and have Algiers back, which is unfortunately French. The French are somehow conciliatory and they feel like they're really, it's just a misunderstanding that we don't like each other. And the fact that they took Algiers from us in, well, the before times, it's not, no, it's never been a thing. It's just a mistake. Obviously, we don't believe any of that garbo, right? We know Algiers is ours. It's going to be ours again. But not yet. These Frenchmen, they're sitting on 260 battalions plus 182, conscripts available, conscript battalions. And we have, like 20? Yeah, 20 and 5. 20 and 5. Also, they probably have way better technology and the actual guns and stuff. Because this is Victoria 3 and there's a bunch of different goods. It's just a subset. These are the goods that are traded on our market. But everything like cannons, we'd have to actually build or get from somewhere before we can give them to our troops. Not that troops have mattered yet. This is episode 2. We've not used our troops. In fact, we have told our troops that they should not be caring about guns at the moment. Not cannons, at least. Because they're expensive and we don't want to pay. We have these 20 battalions reserve. I'm just going to right-click that because that's going to be that way for a while. Wood is expensive in our market because, well, two reasons. One, we don't have any real wood production in our country. The only wood production we have going on is from the subsistent orchards, so people who don't have another job, they just live off the land, essentially. And they do produce a tiny little bit of wood, among other things, but really just tiny amounts. We cannot build any logging camps because, I assume because of the country that we live in. This place does not support any real logging industry. So we are buying some wood from our neighbor Morocco, I believe. If I'm not totally mistaken. Yep. 50 wood. Wait. Buying it from Morocco? No, buying it from the Netherlands. Never mind. 50 wood is coming in from the Netherlands, which is nice, but clearly not enough to drop the price to something more reasonable. It's certainly a question whether we want to drop one of our other routes, like this fruit one, for example, and make another wood route instead. This is not particularly profitable anyway, and it doesn't seem as important. If we were looking at further wood imports, what would that would? Buy them from the Egyptians, which is actually quite fine, decently profitable. It's only 20 wood, but it is 20 wood, so I think I'm just going to do that. And because that hurts our bureaucracy something fierce, I'm going to drop the trade route with the fruit. If I remember how to do that, there we go. We're going to have to go into a bunch of different concepts for those of you who haven't really touched Victoria 3 before. I talked about a few things a little bit last time, but there's so much going on with the economy of Victoria. It'll be a while before we covered everything. One thing maybe we should cover right now before we even unpause is radicals and loyalists. This is essentially a measure of how happy people are in your country, but it's not just like a general overall measurements. But you have hopefully the bulk of your people who are neither loyalists nor radicals. They're just people. They just live. And they're people who really like what you're doing. And they're these loyalists. Having loyalists gives you bonuses with all your interest groups, depending on which interest groups those loyalists are from. So if you do a lot for interest groups that are mostly supporters of the intelligentsia, for example, then you get more approval there. On the other hand, we have radicals. Radicals are people who are really unhappy with what's going on. If those numbers go too high, we're going to have turmoil in our provinces, which is going to reduce income, production stuff, and can even lead to rebellion. Radicals, well, all of these things can get generated a couple of ways, but one of the main ways radicals get generated is through decreases in standard of living. So we have this average standard of living here, 10.2 right now for our country, but each individual simulated unit of population has its own standard of living depending on how much money they make in their the companies that they work in. Let's have a look at, say, a livestock ranch here. Let's have a look at, say, a livestock ranch here. They're paying average wage of 8 ducats, but they're paying laborers a lot less than they're paying their aristocrats, as we can see. And this depends on how profitable the industry is. If it's doing well, people also get paid more. And if it's not doing well, they don't get paid, or they even lose their job. So if you have an industry and it's doing well, and then because of some, say, input good price change or a drop of the price of the good that they actually produce, the production building becomes less efficient, makes less money, people get paid less, maybe even get let off, and then their standard of living drops because they suddenly can't afford, say, food anymore, or alcohol, or whatever they want, right? Depending on what sort of strata these people are in, they want different things. And they have a sort of expectation for standard of living. Anyway, point is, if that drops, then people can become radicals. So you kind of want to keep that stable, or ideally growing, to generate more loyalists. Okay, enough theory. Let's just unpause. I don't even know why I just talked about that. Oh, we can see something interesting right here. The price for fruit in our market dropped from 30 ducats to just 17.3 ducats immediately. Why? Because we stopped exporting fruit. We stopped that export trade route. Therefore, the demand for fruit on our market went down. We have so much excess fruit, and the price is in the gutter. Which is good for people who eat food, right? Pop consumption. So people eat this, so they're gonna have to pay less. So that's good for their standard of living in a way, but it's also bad for the income from our livestock ranches. Not the wheat farms, I think, are making the fruit, right? Yeah. They're just making grain. They make grain and wine. Where do we get fruit from? Maybe just from the orchards. Probably just from the orchards, yeah. Yeah, we do. So all these people who would just work on their subsistence orchards now get less money for their fruit, which it's not going to be great. So we might even see that, yep, we see those radicals go up, something fierce. Simply because we stopped exporting fruit. This is, but price is stabilizing a little bit, which is nice. We also see the price of wood going down a little bit, which is good for us because we're paying for all that wood that we're using for construction. Something I wanted to say just now there, but I completely forgot. Oh, we got a huge drop off here. Not sure why that happened. Must have done something good for the standard of living there, because that's a huge drop off. Maybe because people also do have a demand for wood, and wood became cheaper. Maybe that made them more, well, happier. That could be. Discord within the landowners. Internet faction has grown frustrated because people are staying neutral on the issue that we're trying to enact. We could get enactment success chance and reduced interest group pop attraction, so people will be less interested in joining the landowners, supporting them. Or we get less of a boost to enactment success. We get a higher decrease in interest group pop attraction, and we do get an increase in the attraction of Sunni ulema. Now, I want to get rid of the landowners because they're kind of terrible people. But I also don't really like these clergy so very much. So I don't know that I want to give them any more power. So I think I'm just going to go with the best enactment success chance and the slight boon that we get from reducing the attraction of the landowners. I think that seems fine. Oh, unused, we're done constructing. We're making money again. We're not making as much money as we were before. Why is that? Oh, the price of wood drops down the drain, right? It's all gone. Because we're no longer using that wood for construction, we're importing all that good. Immediately telling us that the import trade routes here are no longer useful. But I think since we still have money in the bank, not tons, but some, we still have 50,000 ducats available. I think we're going to go ahead and build another building. What was the last thing we just constructed? I forgot from last time. I think we put up a wheat farm. Is that right? I feel like we might have upgraded the wheat farm here. No. Oh, that's the livestock range anyway. The wheat farm in Tlemcen. Yeah, they're still hiring people, so they just got upgraded. And they're still working on hiring people to do the work. That's a technology I would like to have that makes both livestock ranches and wheat farms much more efficient. Using fertilizer, but I don't think we have that yet. We still lack wheat. We also lack services, and we lack chairs or furniture. The problem with making chairs is that it requires wood. Kind of the same goes for making clothing, but that requires fabric, which we now have enough of, thanks to our upgrade of the livestock ranches. So I think we could actually make a furniture factory, clothing factory, which should make decent money, support our people's need for clothing, and also drive up the price of fabric to make our what are they called? The livestock ranch is more efficient, more profitable. I think that sounds good. It's going to be quite expensive. We might go into debt a little bit, but I think that's going to be fine. Let's throw down a textile mill. I think we are going to keep putting those into Tlemcen while we have more pop there. Lots of money lost. At 3 a.m. a week, I think it is, and we're gonna take how many weeks? 44 weeks. Ooh, our money is gonna be bad. We might want to look into some tax shenanigans. Now, we could just raise taxes. What that's gonna do though is it's gonna put less money into people's pockets. Also, you see some direct effects here, right? We get more tax, we lose some legitimacy, which is not going to be super relevant right now. We get more radicals from standard of living decreases, and that's not set here because people are paying more taxes. They're going to have a reduction in their standard of living, so we're going to generate a bunch of those radicals. But we're not in a terrible spot, so we might still want to do that. We might also want to be looking at consumption taxes, though. Like, we can spend authority, which we have a decent amount of right now, to tax specific good consumption, which makes that more expensive. It still takes money out of the pockets of the people. I mean, the money has to come from somewhere, right? But it doesn't just immediately hit everybody. And it just makes money. Kind of a fan of hitting some of these, I think, for now. Taxing fruit and grain is kind of rough, because that hurts everybody, even the poor. And we might still be looking into that at some point, or maybe services. But right now, I think that's kind of not great. I think I'd rather also could drop military wages, which is actually fine. Yeah, let's drop those. Since we're not doing military anyway, we don't care much about the military faction. And it'll be fine. Just tax the heck out of these people. We're gonna see radicals go up. That is for sure. Oh, they actually went down for a moment there, but there might have been still a backlash from what we did earlier. Yeah, now they're going up. I think we're just gonna have to accept that. We want to build up our country's industry, and some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. You see, it's important that we get a clothing factory up for everybody. You want clothing, right? How could you be against a clothing factory? Come on, people. What do you mean you don't want to pay for it? Okay, we successfully passed our law. We now have an institution that gives us education access, conversion, and does make our devout people stronger, unfortunately. We can see institutions, well, right now, institution singular on the politics screen, I think. Yeah, right here. So we're at the lowest level of education that we can have. And if we had the correct technology, we could increase the level of the institution for more effect. Unfortunately, institutions also, we knew this when we enacted the law, they do cause bureaucracy. And we don't have bureaucracy anymore. We kind of don't want that to be a thing. So we probably have to drop another trade route. Still kind of feeling that importing wood is a good thing while we are at... Oh, we're importing so much wood from the Netherlands here. So trade routes upgrade when they're in high demand and used. And the other side has the good available and you have the convoys to do it. Your trade routes will upgrade. This is a level 4 trade route now, delivering 140 wood and using 45 of our convoys, which we do have. This wine import route is just making decent money. I'm kind of hesitant to remove it. It also drops the price of wine in our country, which makes it easier to afford for people. Tends to be good, but I think I'm gonna have to drop the liquor import actually. It is a shame. But losing all that tax would be bad. And I think people still pay it, so they are still losing the money, but you don't get it, it just gets lost somewhere in bureaucracy, as money does tend to do. And that tends to be a bad thing. Yeah, look at the standard of living. We're at 10-ish before we started, or when we started. Now we dropped to 9.3 because of the stack, the tax increase we did. We just got a bunch of bureaucracy back from the technology here. 25% trade route bureaucracy cost reduced. So we might actually pick up another trade route in a moment. Now, I was looking for a specific thing here that we didn't have. I think it's intensive agriculture. Unfortunately, we don't have the lathe yet, which makes intensive agriculture more expensive to get because we don't have all the tier 1 technologies yet. And the cotton gin is already spreading to us. I could start researching it as well. It would spread even faster. But he says, my thought is that it wastes the fact that they're spreading to us right now, right? Because it would completely spread itself. But there always seems to be only one technology per area spreading itself. So it's quite possible that once we grab the cotton gin here, we get another thing spreading. I'm gonna give that a chance. Not because I want the gin, but because I really want intensive agriculture for the opportunities it provides. Oh, look at that. Our radicals went up insanely high. And our loyalists dropped by a lot. That is a problem. Well, it's not a problem yet. I think we're gonna go back to importing that booze from the Egyptians, sure. It should help out a little bit, maybe. Because people get more booze and it should be cheaper for them to get. And people working in the trading posts should be making a little more money, which then means that they're better off. But it's not great to be in Algiers right now, or in Algeria. I don't know about Algiers, it's French, it's probably great. But Algerian people are not doing great. But look at that, it's all... Just by importing some booze, people are fine. Comparatively fine. We're still making money, which it's not terrible to be in debt, but interest is quite intense. And it feels like it hampers your development a lot. So I like not being in debt. Which may sound like just a truism. It's good not to be in debt. But like in EU4, I think I take too few loans. I think I should be taking a lot more loans. But here, I think having too many loans is bad. What I'm looking for right now is goods that are in demand. I think this looks very much like another wheat farm to me. Yeah. even though when we haven't, we have our wheat farms and also vineyards, so they're also producing wines, or wine, I guess, which is a more valuable good. But you can see grain costs almost 30 a pop, and we produce 80 less or 80 fewer. And wine costs a little more than grain, but not that much more. And we only get 40. But still. It's still saying that we don't have enough clarifications, but I was about to say we're almost there, but that is the opposite of true. We have 43 of the 1,500 clergymen we need, and none of the aristocrats. Is that a little better in Constantine? Because we have not been... it's only better insofar as we need fewer people. Does it need so many clergymen and aristocrats because we're doing vineyards? No, that requires shopkeepers. We're fine on shopkeepers. I think I'm gonna put that into Constantine, but yeah. I don't think we put on all the, where is it? The political decrees, yeah. I don't think Constantine is, wait, did it? Promote social mobility, encourage agriculture and road maintenance. We have in Tlemcen. Oh, we have just agricultural in Constantine. Since we do have the authority to spare, I think we're going to go ahead and maintain roads and promote social mobility as well. And then we are actually going to put an upgrade wheat farm to Constantine. Even if it's going to be difficult to find all the people for it. Peace treaty. The Spanish-French war. The French? No, Spanish-British. The British won, apparently. They succeeded in banning slavery in the Spanish Philippines. You know, as you do. And the Spaniards did not get Sierra Leone. So it wasn't really about Gibraltar at all. Funny. Okay. I'll take it. What's going on here? Maghreb people unfairly blamed for the poor living conditions. We could just have the reduction authority, which is fine. Yeah. I'd have that rather than getting standard of living reduced, for sure. We should also be at least considering another law. I don't think we got any new ones available to us. No, and it's unlikely that anything here got much more support. Well, it's a decent support for changing. Oh no, I think that's the support for keeping slave trade as it is. Yeah. We could probably ban it, but the landowners are just too powerful right now for us to do moves like that. So I'm not gonna try and pass a law right now. It's a bit of a shame. Right, I wanted to look at the new factory we built with you. Unfortunately, we missed the point of it starting up immediately, so it's already started up a little bit. But you can see it's not fully hired people. It's still missing a lot of employees here. It's already making good money. We should see its employment go up and its cash reserves rising. That means the cash reserves are rising, the company is doing well. But it hasn't really stabilized. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna immediately start doing the lathe as well, just so we get into intensive agriculture. I have no idea what that's going to do to spreading, but I'm really interested in seeing how our textile mill is going to do. I think it should stabilize. All the factors look like it should be fine. Of course, clothing price drops now that we actually have some clothing on the market. So the earlier predicted earnings will go down. Also, the price of fabric goes up as we're using up fabric. So again, that's eating into the margins. I still think that a textile mill should be doing okay once it's fully employed and fully operational battle station. And that does look like it's the case. Yeah. It's stabilizing now. Excellent. With nothing on construction, which is bad. Well, it's good because it means that our wheat farm, I think that we built, is already done in Constantine. And we can see that one doing well as well. Price of wine going down the drain. I would really like to sell some wine again, but we're gonna need some more bureaucracy for that. How do we get bureaucracy? Well, bureaucracy is generated by urban centers. Is that true? No, it's not even true. What am I saying? This is generating services. Bureaucracy comes from government administration. Yes. And we could upgrade our government administration, expand the needs of the expanding bureaucracy, expand to fill the needs of the expanding bureaucracy and all that. Either by just adding to the building, just like we did with the others, or by, say, switching to filing cabinets, making it more efficient. In this case, filing cabinets would require paper, and that would be something we have to get. And we can't really make paper because it's made from wood. Yes. So we still have a bit of an issue there. Although we should definitely be looking into doing that sooner rather than later, so we don't have to don't have as many problems with bureaucracy anymore. So we're gonna need bureaucracy. It's just a given. I'd love to export more wine. But yeah, if we were to run a paper mill, that would probably be a terrible idea. Yeah, it consumes 30 wood per level. And our market currently, while we're not building, we do have 5 extra wood. 5. And while we're building, it's much worse. So we really need to try and grab ourselves a wood source at some point. But right now, I think we should just try and do something that does not require wood. Well, except for building. Building would always require wood. Now, what are we looking into? At some point, we might be interested in this iron mine. Saying it reduces revenue, that is mostly because we don't really have any use for iron yet. If we had a tool factory, if we had a tooling workshop, I believe that uses... Doesn't tell me here, does that? Doesn't tell me here. I believe that uses wood in the general logic, yeah. It will use less wood, or even none, I don't know, once we swap to iron tools. Let's have a quick look at technology again. And what gives us iron tools? Is it pick iron tools? Oh, they actually increase the wood wood cost as well. So it's really not an option. So there are other ways to use iron, but that's the main one I can think of right now that would make sense for us. So that's really not it. I think out of all these industries, there really isn't one we could use particularly well without wood. Well, except for textile, which we're already doing. Might want more later. Technically, there's food. But our grocery demand is probably quite low. It's probably going to cost us an arm and what it claims to be to make us a lot of money. It says it would generate revenue. How does it even know? Probably takes the average grocery price or the normal grocery price, because groceries are not sold in our market yet and can't possibly know how much they're worth. So it probably uses the average price. And in my experience, that has not been a useful price. I hate the lack of clippers too. We have a lot of. Let me tell you, people, Algeria has a lot of problems right now. We have excess wine. Actually, have excess liquor. Okay. Excess fruit. And some more excess fabric. And then I just really want is more wheat. We do want services. Services are actually generated by upgrading urban centers. You can't build urban centers. They just generate from having urban buildings. But you can, in theory, upgrade their technology. And like we could turn on gas streetlights here. But we don't have any coal, so that wouldn't be great either. No, I think we're gonna have to stay a little rural for a while. Let's see if we can't just hammer down. Do we just hammer down another wheat farm? Is that the idea? It might just be. It might just be the idea to just simply plop down another wheat farm. Sure. Let's go do that. The more industry we build, I mean, we don't get these resources directly. We get money only indirectly as well. Like the money we see being produced doesn't go to us. It goes to the people working in or owning the factory. However, we get taxes of these people. We might get tariffs of imports. But that's how we make some money out of it. But it also, as I explained earlier, heavily impacts the set of living of our own people and their happiness. It's extremely important for us to actually have good industry. It does impact our money directly in cases where, like wood, where we have to buy our own, or where we need goods for the government, like wood, paper, things like that. If we have them in our own production, then they're cheaper, and then it's cheaper for us too. But generally, none of this money goes directly to us, is the point I've been trying to make. Okay, the farm is already done. It's hiring. Kinda tempted not to do another one. Our fishing wharves are no longer doing well. They're probably being outcompeted by livestock and wheat. Yeah. Changing over to more meat production is not great. I think it's really a question of upgrading the textile mill or upgrading... but their cash reserves are not even remotely full, so they've been doing too great. Yeah, I think I want to plop down... I think I want to plop down one more livestock ranch in preparation for fertilizer. We're making a lot of money. You saw us making still some money while we're already building. That's because there's an investment pool while we're not building, and even while we're building, I think. In our case, I think it's only our aristocrats. No, aristocrats and capitalists, I think, adding to our investment pool due to our laws. We don't have a lot of capitalists yet. But they put a little money aside that we can then use to build things with. We don't get the money, but they enact into... what? I lost my train of thought. They put money that we can use to build things. They invest into that, not enact. I just saw this thing here. There's a political movement going on in our country now. The intelligentsia and the trade unions, of which the trade unions are essentially completely irrelevant. 0.3% cloud. Intelligentsia at least 6.9%. They want us to ban slavery. And I mean, I'm all for it. But the problem is still that the landowners hate it. And that would hurt our country quite a bit. Because they're so very powerful in our country right now. But while this is going on, this will slowly generate radicals. Just because people are not getting their will. Alright, another thing built. It's going quite fast. I mean, I'm playing on speed 5 still. I don't think we want to upgrade construction or development buildings. It's kind of tempted earlier to build I forgot what they're called. A shipyard, so we can manufacture the clippers that we need. I'm not seeing clippers anymore. Oh no, there they are. They're very expensive. We're buying them, and there's a shortage. We mostly need them for our fishing wharves, well, on our port, for trading. But they need wood, tons of wood. It's not going to be worth it. And we don't use enough to even make it worth producing. Interestingly, fish is in low demand. So, it's probably that the reason my fishes are not doing well is not that nobody wants the fish. It's that they don't have the boats, or the boats are very expensive to get. And that wheat is still utterly desired. So I guess we want to go and just invest into another wheat farm. Wait, you're losing money? Okay, maybe we're not investing. One of those wheat farms is losing money. That's not a sign for investment, I don't think. No. Okay. Done with the wheat farms for now. Livestock ranches. Not doing crazy either anymore. Okay. I'm not saying it's okay, but okay. Interesting. Can't really invest more into wheat or livestock. It doesn't make sense, at least. Definitely not to fishing wharves. We said we don't really have a good use for iron yet, so no big need for an iron mine. Same goes for sulfur. And nothing else grows here. We're not a very resource-rich place. maybe not the best place to have our first landing session in, but hey, it was supposed to be a medium difficulty achievement. Surely it can't be that problematic. Anyway, I want to make a decision and then put a cut in here. But what are we going to do with our building time here? Because not using our building seems bad. We can do it for a moment and to stockpile money until it's full. But that just doesn't seem great either. So glassworks need wood. Furniture manufacturers need fabric and wood. Food needs needs grain. It can be upgraded to canneries later and it will then require iron. I just have a feeling that nobody's going to want to buy that food. Maybe I'm wrong. Love to produce paper or tools, but again, wood. Maybe it's just that we want to try and buy even more wood. Seems not too hard to do. Obviously, every good that we produce from wood is going to be more expensive because we're using imported wood rather than produced wood. Maybe that's okay. What if we were looking at a furniture manufacturer? It claims to make money with the current wood price. Wood price will increase, but... Oh, what are you substituting wood for? It's only for pop consumption. Don't know. I think I'm gonna plop down a furniture factory. Here we go. And then we're gonna put a cut in here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, as always, please do hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and if you have anything to say, please do so down there in that comment section. Thank you for watching. See you folks next time.